All right, everyone. This is going to be a short video on order flow, right? Expectational order flow, and just the correct way on how to follow order flow and specifically supply and demand in terms of market structure in the market, right? So in this case, we're going to be taking a look at the 4-hour time frame and the 15-minute time frame, which are paired really well together. If you're a day trader, okay, now this goes for any time frames that you like to use. It could be the 1 hour and the 5 minute if you like to trade those time frames, as long as they pair well together in terms of fractality, right? We all know that the market is fractal, and what happens on every time frame happens on every time frame. Okay, so in this case, you can understand, right? We can see that supply is being respected and demand is being disrespected, right? So we are breaking through demand and we are holding supply. Now, as soon as we have an area on the 4-hour, right, an area of supply that is respected and puts in a new low, we can start to create the narrative that lows are weak, right? This low is a weak low, weak low, weak low. Why? Because this low failed to put in a new high. This low failed to put in a new high, okay, and so on and so on. Okay, now what you'll see a lot of the times is price is going to have a pullback, okay? After it breaks through this 4-hour area of demand, price is going to pull back to whatever supply caused the break in demand, okay? And not a lot of people understand this concept. Every shift in the market comes from some form of supply or demand. Whatever last form of supply fueled this move to the downside is going to be revisited on every single time frame this works, okay? Again, we are creating the narrative now because we are, in fact, in a bearish trend that highs are strong and lows are weak. Okay, so we can create these narratives and basically use the 15-minute time frame to go with the 4-hour, and even so that we can have an idea of when actually the pullback is going to end. Excuse me. Okay, so not all the time it won't come back all the way up to this extreme. Okay, a lot of the times it could be a supply sitting here that caused the flip in demand. Okay, we just don't know, and that's where the 15-minute time frame comes into use, right? This is where we can start to use this 15-minute time frame. Okay, again, we are in a bearish trend. Now, what I want you to see here, I want you to look at how these time frames correlate. Okay, what you're looking for is the change of character on the 15-minute time frame. Once you get the change in character on the 15-minute time frame, okay, on the 15-minute time frame here, and you are in a higher time frame POI, or in a 4-hour area of supply, once you get this sweep of the high, then the sweep of the low, you have a completed change of character, okay? And understand that whatever caused the break, the change of character, whatever caused this break in demand, right? Because this is a demand area, and we will color code this as orange because we are doing orange for demand and we are doing gray for supply. Whatever caused this break in demand was a form of supply on the 15-minute sitting here, okay? And this is where you want to get in. Also note, these moves to the downside, this impulse to the downside, breaking the 4-hour low, are a lot longer and larger in volume, almost 100% of the time, right? Larger in volume versus these pullbacks, okay? You'll be able to count how many pushes to the upside there are versus pushes to the downside, or should I say on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, like I said, again, a lot of the times you won't always get the 15-minute time frame coming all the way back up, although we are bullish on the 15-minute time frame. Once we get this change in character marked in red here, when supply takes control over demand on the 15-minute time frame, we can create the narrative that we are targeting this weak low, which failed to put in a new high. This low is weak. This can be one of your final targets. And these flips here are just re-entries. Don't think that you need to be at the top of the market, get the tops and bottoms in the market. There are flips for a reason, flips of supply and demand for a reason. This is an area of supply that caused a break in another demand sitting here, which in this case you will get into as a re-entry. Okay, so whatever demand was sitting here was broken by this supply. Something in here that you can get into again, okay, and again and again and again and again. We'll bring this down. We have a little area of demand here that was invalidated by some form of supply, okay? So, and this is where you can start to get in, right? And then this demand becomes supply, okay? Because something in here, in this small little impulse, fueled the move to break this demand and is, again, revisited. Okay, so this is where those flips come into play and where those re-entries come into play. And you don't just need to get in at the top of the change of character when the pullback is finally entered. There are multiple opportunities in the market. Now, I want you to take a look at what happens when you break a 4-hour high. Okay, once this 4-hour high is broken, that was once strong because it put in a new low, right? Because this high put in a new low, it becomes strong. Okay, and this is one of those case scenarios where you will get stopped out at break even or stopped out at break even right after taking partials. Okay, so you'll get in here after the change of character. What caused this demand to fail? Let's color code this again as orange. I don't want anybody to get confused here. What caused this demand to fail was some form of supply sitting here. Okay, and this again, this is the case where you would get into the market and get stopped out at break even or stopped at the partials or just stopped out depending on how you partial out. That's why trade management is everything. That's why it's so important. Okay, but I want you to take a look at when this 4-hour high is broken. That now makes this low a strong low because it broke the high. Now we can start to create the narrative, okay, that maybe we are bullish. Okay, now we can start to take buys in here at these re-entries, right? At these flips from demand or supply to demand, because now demand starts to take control. And we understand that once we get that 4-hour pullback after the high is broken, that we can start looking for entries at a demand area on the 4-hour time frame sitting here. Okay. Okay, so this demand area obviously caused this flip in supply. Okay, and so on and so on. Okay, so I hope you guys were able to gain value out of this. I just wanted to clear up some things about order flow and how to properly actually follow it. So you're not just trading supply and demand, trading POIs on the tops and the bottoms of the market. Okay, so I hope you're able to find value in this. And it's been Samson FX, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.